Hey guys, this is Julian from Mindomination.com, and today's topic is how to be more relaxed and to stop feeling stressed daily. So, before we begin, I want to ask you a deep and very important question. And please take a few moments to answer before continue on listening. So, here goes. What, in your opinion, life is all about? So feel free to stop the podcast and answering the question, then just once you're ready, hitting the play button once again. Hey guys, we're back, and hopefully you've managed to think of at least something, one thing meaningful in your life, or at least a word. Obviously, I have no idea what your answer is, but I do know one thing for sure. We will experience a better life once we'll start noticing and appreciating life more. So, the key for this is to be in the right mindset. And what is the right mindset, you might ask? Well, I would suggest that a calm mindset. When we are calm, we can truly notice our feelings. We become more aware of our surroundings. And to prove my point, I just want to mention a few studies. So the first one is called Stress and Health, Psychological, Behavioral, and Biological Determinants. This study shows that long-term effects of stressors can damage health in elderly and ill individuals. The second study suggests that stress makes it difficult to control your emotions. I'll be linking to all of these studies at my website. You can just go to mindomination.com and hit the podcast tab, then you will find this podcast. It's the first one, so it'll be easy to find. The third study is a study from 1984 that found that stress can affect a man's body weight, testosterone levels, and sexual desire. Another meta-analysis of 9 studies, if I'm not mistaken, found that personality is equally predictive of life satisfaction, happiness, and positive effect, but significantly less predictive of a negative effect. So you get the idea. A calmer life is a better life, generally speaking. Your personality affects your subjective well-being, SWB for short, which is basically how good you perceive your life to be, or how happy you are. So now that we've established that being calm is a better life choice for you, and that you know that you can actually affect your own well-being just by changing the way you think, we can continue on to learn how to do just that. So I would suggest 3 techniques that I use, and the first one is called Stress is a Choice. It might sound a bit condescending, especially when I read it out loud, but it doesn't matter because it's a matter of feeling. And it's really hard to explain how you feel once you truly grasp this concept. The best word for me would be freedom. It all started a few years back when I noticed something interesting. When I'm relaxed, I feel better. I act better, and I'm way more productive. Overall, it's safe to say my life is better when I'm relaxed. So why am I getting stressed out by the smallest, most annoying things that won't have any long-term effect? It made me crazy. So I decided to make a promise to myself, and I found this promise to be really helpful. The promise was that I will not let reality affect my peace of mind. Obviously, it's not an easy promise to keep, but once I made that promise, my life began to get better by the day. Once I realized that I'm responsible for how well I live my life, I started taking things seriously. I started paying close attention to what really matters. The once stressful situations looked easier to deal with, and gradually they lost their power over me. So, the bottom line is this: practice noticing your stress. Every time you feel stress, simply notice your feelings. Rate your stress level from 1 to 10 and try to uncover the root cause of your stress. Is it a feeling of hopelessness, lack of control, or a mix? Defining your stress will help you to understand it, and while you do, you will gain your sense of confidence and control back along with your peace of mind. So we're moving to technique number 2, which is called stress is abundant. It might sound like a pessimistic statement at first, but it's really not. Have you ever been isolated in a remote location for a while, or been inside a house for too long? You know that weird feeling you get when you meet society for the first time after a while? It's a form of social anxiety, which is a form of stress. The reality is we adapt ourselves to the stress levels we're exposed to daily. Some of us get more stressed than others, hence we're more resilient toward it, while others live a less stressful life and get excited and stressed out by lighter triggers. The understanding that stress is all around us all the time is actually the understanding that stress is really abundant, in other words, and accepting stressful situations as part of your routine makes them a lot less stressful. So, for example, let's say you work in a telemarketing company and it's your first day at work. You make your first call and the guy on the other side screams and curses you, then hangs up. You might be shocked, right? The stress must be at least an 8 right now on a scale of 1 to 10. If you're an unexperienced telemarketer. But for the guy working there for the past 5 years, it's just another day at the office. Actually, he might even laugh if he'll be hearing this conversation. He'll be saying that of course it happens from time to time and it's just part of this particular line of work. People get angry, so what? So the bottom line is, every time something bad happens that stresses you out, think of at least one person you know who experienced a similar situation. How did he or she dealt with it? Was it the end of the world as they knew it? Probably not. Understand that you are not special in that sense, that this situation is not special, and the stress you feel right now is not unique. Somewhere, someone felt the same way you feel right now, and he's okay, and you will be too. Okay, so now we'll be moving to the last point I want to make, which is it doesn't really matter. What doesn't really matter? Well, life. Life will go on with or without your stress. Things will continue to happen and life will not stop throwing them at you. You will still have a choice of how you deal with it, with stress or without it. Life doesn't care about what you think. If you hate it or feel frustrated, it will be like it has always been. The only thing that can change is how you think about life and with which glasses you look at it, the pink ones or the black ones. The only way to feel less stress is to consciously choose to every time you confront it. And fortunately and unfortunately, it will most likely happen daily in some sort of shape or form. Understand that stress will not improve the end result. If If at all, it will only make it worse. So why waste your precious time and energy over it? Comprehend that stress is simply a waste of your mental and physical energy. It will never help you. Think of past situations in which you've faced uncertainty. Did you survive those successfully? And was it easier than you thought? And the most important question of all, was it worth the stress you felt back then? Probably not. So the bottom line is this. Count the number of times in which being stressed actually helped you in the past. Realize that results are never wrong and history never lies. You might feel like you need to be stressed right now because it's how life works and dictates, but it's not true. As you realize, stress almost never helps. It will most likely will not help in this particular situation either. So don't trust your gut. I would suggest trusting your history and release that stress bomb of yours away. So to conclude, we cannot avoid stress altogether. It's simply impossible, and no one has ever done that. But it's not the point at all. The point is to have tools to deal with stress better when it arises, and to have the mental power and energy to rise above it, and to keep calm and in control even during the rough times. We are at our best when we are calm. We have better judgment, we are more productive, and we are happier overall. Adopting peace of mind as your life's theme will greatly improve your happiness in almost every aspect. Having peace of mind on demand means being in control of your future, on top of your goals, and owning life as a whole, which means having more fun. And everyone wants to have more fun. So see you on my next podcast, and rock on meanwhile.